Okay, welcome back, everyone. I will now call the Public Hearing Committee meeting to order. If I could have a motion to approve the agenda as presented, please. Councillor Taylor, second by Councillor Columbus. All those in favor? That is carried. Any declarations of pecuniary interest? Seeing none, I will now officially open the public meetings held under the Municipal Act and the Municipal Act, the Planning Act, and County Policy. Please be advised that to preserve your right to appeal to the Ontario Land Tribunal, you are required to make comments or provide written submissions prior to the passage of a bylaw. It is important to note that no final decisions are being made on these matters today. These meetings are to allow the public to provide initial comments, and further reports will come forward at a future date. First is staff report CD 21-121. That's an application to change the zoning of the subject lands from rural institution zone to agricultural zone with a special provision for 445.93 square meters for a personal storage building affecting the lands described as 411 Blue Line Road. And Mohammed, go ahead, please, sir. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor and the Council. A small correction of this report, CD 21-121, before I start the presentation. Page 6 of the agenda, it is about the strategic plan linkage. In the paragraph of explanation, instead of the proposed subdivision, it should be read as proposed zoning change. And the sentence will be the proposed zoning change will support and promote strong sense of rural community. This will be reflected in the final recommendation report. And thanks to Councillor Van Passen for noticing that. So this application is to rezone the subject land from rural institutional to agricultural. The current official plan designation is agricultural and zoned as rural institutional. The 0.1 hectare subject land is located at the northwest of Port Dover urban boundary and within the rural area. As you can see in the slide, the subject land is predominantly surrounded by agricultural lands and some agricultural establishments. The parcel currently has a worship building built in 1958. It was also used as a private school in 2007, but currently the structure is vacant without any uses. There is also a 445 square meter accessory structure currently in use for the owner's personal storage needs. So the proposal does not include any new development at this moment. Only a zoning change is requested. The applicant may consider to replace the existing building with a single detached dwelling in future. And only one special provision will be required, which is to allow a 445 square meter accessory building where the maximum allowable area is 200 square meter. And also, it will be in a land where the primary use does not exist. The application includes a survey drawing and a planning justification report. We received technical comments from staff and agencies. No major concerns are indicated. A change of use or demolition permit will be required after the zoning application. We did not receive any public comments as of yet. And the next step is to prepare the recommendation report for the council. That's everything from me. Agent Mary Elder is attending this meeting, and I believe she have a short presentation, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Okay, if it's okay with the committee, then maybe we'll allow Mary to go first, and hopefully that perhaps answers some of the questions. So Mary, welcome, and if you'd like to make your presentation.
Thank you. I don't actually have a presentation. I'm here more to answer questions because between the justification report and what's in the staff report for today, I think most points are already covered. The lands where...
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. The lands?
The lands where agriculture in previous times, the lot was created back in the late 50s for an elementary school. There was a big push in those days because of population needing education that they did a lot of these schools at that time. When that was no longer needed, it went to a place of worship, but that's no longer needed either. So we're just trying to set it straight that the uses that are permitted under the rural institutional zone are not ones that currently would be having a great demand in the rural area. They're more provided for in the communities, Port Dover and Simcoe. And so there isn't a need for rural institutional in this location. So that's why we're, in summary, suggesting that it be changed to agricultural zone.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mary. Are there questions from council for either planning staff or Ms. Elder? Doesn't look like I see any questions from the committees. In that case, if somebody would like to move the staff recommendation, Councillor Van Passen, seconded by Councillor Columbus. All those in favor? And that is carried. Thanks for joining us, Mary. Next is staff report CD 2193. It's a rezoning 453997 Ontario Limited and Agent Civic Planning Solutions in regards to 1026 12th Concession Road. And I'm not sure. Ms. Yager, I guess somebody new today. Welcome.
Hello, good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the Council Committee. I just want to introduce to you our new junior planner. This is Hannah Yeager, and this is her first presentation ever to Council, and she's going to be presenting this application.
Welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I'll share my screen for my presentation. You can see that okay. This is a biannual technical update to clean up some items in the comprehensive zoning bylaw. In this update, we have captured a number of items which apply for specific sites, as well as some county-wide items. This list was put together from input from other departments, as well as members of the public, in order to update and modernize this zoning bylaw. Through the chair, as indicated by section 9.6.2 of the official plan, the purpose of this application is to bring forward minor housekeeping items for the Norfolk County zoning bylaw and provide notice to the public in accordance with the Planning Act. The first three items are relating to updates to definitions in order to make the bylaw clearer and easier to understand. First, chip wagon is proposed to be changed to food truck to modernize language, and the trailer definition is proposed to be added to provide consistency and distinguish between other similar vehicles. We received the request from the bylaw department and worked with them to create an amended definition using research to guide our approach. Third, section 4.5C, which discusses provisions relating to parking vehicles in residential zones, is proposed to be amended to improve clarity, support its implementation, and meet the intent of the zoning bylaw. An apartment dwelling is proposed to be returned to the permitted uses in the service commercial zone. After staff review, its prior removal was determined to be without rationale during a 2019 technical update, and the effect of returning its permission will be to meet the intent of the zoning bylaw. The following four items relate to site-specific provisions, which addresses redundant text, improves clarity, ensures transparency of the planning process, and again maintains the intent of the bylaw. First, a holding provision for a lot on Highway 6 is proposed to be removed. The requirement for this removal has already been completed in the past, so this amendment will act as a technical correction to reflect ZNPL 2018-110 having been approved. Second, provision 14.35 is proposed to be amended to remove redundant language of the original zoning bylaw amendment ZNO 6/00, since the current zoning and designation achieve the intent and purpose of this bylaw with regard to permitted uses. Provision 14.464 is proposed to be amended to improve clarity regarding permitted uses for a lot in the Hamlet Commercial Zone, which will include a mini storage facility and furniture manufacturing area, as approved by ZMPL 2011-163. Lastly, provision 14.546. I would note that there is a typo in the published slides that says 564, it is 546. It's proposed to add clarity to existing language describing which uses are not permitted in order to reflect an explanatory note in the previous amendment, ZMPL 2017-055. Since the time of submitting this report, we have received inquiries seeking clarification, but have not received any comments from the members of the public. Thank you for your time. I would be happy to take any comments or questions.
Thanks very much. That was great. Any questions from the committee to staff? Councillor Michelli?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Through you to Hannah. Hannah, are there any other items or definitions that are being reviewed right now due to possibly some ambiguities in the definitions?
Thank you for your question. I will defer to Tricia to answer that in full.
Sure, through the chair. So this is an ongoing exercise. So we have an ongoing list of terms and items throughout the year collected from other departments or flagged from different agencies or members of the public. So the short answer is yes, this is an exercise that we continue to do. And if anything comes through council, we're happy to collect those and research to bring forward.
Thank you, Tricia. So would it also be appropriate if members of council also forwarded some of those items to you?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Any further questions from the committee? All right, seeing none, if somebody would like to move the staff recommendation. Councillor Taylor, second by Councillor Columbus. All those in favor? That's carried. And a motion to adjourn. Councillor Huffman, seconded by Councillor Martin. All those in favor? That is carried. So thanks very much to our planning staff for joining us. And then I guess now we are going to return back to our Board of Health meeting, and I believe we'll likely be on a different, we'll stay on this link? Okay. So with that, we will reconvene with the Board of Health. And Teresa, I'll have you read the motion then to move into closed session.
Through the mayor, you want to do that, or do you want to do the minutes and?
Oh, I can do that first. Yep,
first.
that's fine.
Sorry, you want to do the minutes first and the memo?
Okay, so first, the approval of the minutes. We have the minutes of the November 9th, 2021 regular Board of Health before us. Are there any errors or omissions? Seeing none then, if I could have the motion to approve the minutes as presented. Member Rabbits and Member Taylor, all those in favor? That's carried. Next, we have an information memo regarding meeting date change for the January Board of Health meeting. Any questions from the board on that? Okay, if there's no further questions, if I could have a mover and seconder that the January 4th, 2022 regular Board of Health meeting be rescheduled to Tuesday, January the 11th, 2022, commencing at 2 p.m. Councillor Huffman moving that and seconded by Councillor Michelli. All those in favor? And that's carried. Any general announcements from the Board of Health? Okay, and then moving on then, I'll turn it over to you, Teresa, for the closed session.
Okay, thank you. We will need a mover and a seconder to move into closed section for a matter pertaining to staffing, recruitment, and retention. subject to Section 239(2) of the Municipal Act, Section B, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, and Section D, labor relations or employee negotiations.
Mover and a seconder, please. Councillor Vanden Rishi and seconded by Councillor Michelli. All those in favor? That's carried.